If you want to know how much progress we've made, I've spent 30 years trying to get Jeff to only weigh himself once a week when he's trying to lose weight. And the only time that I could get him to reduce the frequency of weigh-ins is when he's not on a diet at all, because he doesn't weigh himself. He doesn't want to know how much he weighs. But when he's on a diet, very difficult to get him to stick to once a week. We went on a trip to California, 2005. The man was destined, determined to just loosen up the diet as much as he could, but do his walks or runs and jogs. And he just pulled out all the stops to try and find a place, abandoned school, prison yard, wherever it took that he could jog around something. He didn't care. He didn't care how dangerous. He didn't care how much effort it took to get there, but he was probably weighing the 260s, 270s at the time. And he was making a sincere effort to hopefully, by the time he comes home from his trip, keep the weight as low as possible, because he wanted to convince himself that he could have pretty much free reign on the diet as long as he did his exercise. I told him not to step on the scale until a certain amount of time passed by. Once he got back to a normal diet plan, if there was any damage done, it should go away rather quickly. Just let's not get hasty here and just step on the scale the moment we land the plane. He was able to survive because he didn't have a scale. That's the only reason why he wasn't able to weigh himself there in the airport. He didn't step on the moment we landed the plane, but the moment he got home, he stepped on the scale. The man completely lost his ever-loving mind, because the number that he saw on that scale was more than the number he wanted it to be. And the man was derailed for possibly ever up until this point. I think that was the huge transition that got you back from the 270s, where you were hovering in that 260, 270 range, back up to 280, 290, and beyond. You couldn't recover from that moment because it was so demoralizing, and not because you should not have expected, given the fact that you go away on vacation, you're going to have a great time for a couple of weeks. There's really no moderation that was taking place. It was just, can I do some exercise to counteract it? And that way I can go away and just eat whatever I want if I just do the exercise. It was an experiment. And I don't fault the experiment at all, but stepping on the scale the moment you come back from like a 2-week Thanksgiving, not the greatest move in the entire world. I tried to push back against it, but it wasn't happening. This is the 20 years ago, Jeff. This Jeff now, he had his 5 candy bars. He didn't step on the scale right when he was done. He could have found one and done it, but he didn't do it. And just the proportions that you've changed in every respect from what I've known you to be to what you are now is just phenomenal.